I can break down the Digimon first season to really easily. Of course, there's a lot of subplots and a lot of character development that I don't talk about, but it's a really long season, so it's kind of hard to break down like that. Pretty much what it is, it follows 7 kids, and they're in the digital world, and the digital world has been corrupted by some evil Digimon. And while that's happening, there's these evil, dark gears that are going around, and they're taking Digimon, good Digimon, and turning them evil. These kids eventually find out that, or decide to go help them and try to rid the digital world of evil. Along the way, they find crests, which help the Digimon digivolve into bigger, better, smarter, faster Digimon, the ultimate stage. Pretty much it's broken up into, I think, 4 arcs, and pretty much what happens is there's always a main evil Digimon that controls all the other minion Digimon, and usually what happens is the kids get split up, they meet back together at the end, and they fight and defeat the evil Digimon. That happens a whole bunch of times. Like I've said, of course, there's a lot of backstory and a lot of character development that I'm not going to go into here. Pretty much at the end, the last arc in Digimon Season 1 is so epic. Like what happens is all the Digimon go and infest the real world, and they destroy and break and smash and do crazy things, and the kids have to defeat all the Digimon, and at the end there's this huge, massive battle. And reason why it's so even more amazing is like you're so attached to these kids, and you're so attached to their family because their family's introduced at the end, and you don't want anything bad to happen. And that's how I think action is made better, is when you're attached to the characters. See, if it's just action for nothing, like Pokemon, you're not going to care very much. But with Digimon, is you didn't want these kids to fail, you wanted them to win. And even the Digimon, you'd fall in love with the Digimon after a while too. And just how the story was really presented was just so good. And of course, after 80-something episodes of following these people around, it really ends in a high note, and the climax is just amazing. I really recommend checking that season out. Season 2, I do remember, and I really enjoyed. Probably one of my favorite seasons of Digimon was, it still follows the original 7 Digidestin, but they are kind of just sub-characters. They're not really as important as the new 3 Digidestin. And then TK and Kari, they're 2 kids in the first season. They come back. So what happens is, on the second season, is the Dark Emperor takes over the digital world and is pretty much controlling Digimon pretty much the same way as the first episode is. The first season. What differs between this is that you don't know the Emperor's methods. You don't know what's wrong with him or why he's doing this. Again, I'm not going to give anything away, but it's really interesting how it all plays out at the end. It's really a character study, and he has a really hard past, and he's kind of confused, and it really helps a lot. I know after they do defeat the Emperor, there's a lot of plot afterwards where they meet some of the other Digidestin from around the world, and how everything works out. I don't think there's like a really big battle at the end. There probably is, because I think what happens is that some dark presence is taking over some of the Digidestin, and they're becoming evil. I don't really remember too much about the second season. The third season, it really changes the plot of Digimon. Third season, the first 2 seasons are just, they're over pretty much, and they don't continue. How Digimon Season 3 is that everything that happened in Digimon happened, but on a TV show. So Digimon aren't real, but they are cards, they are TV shows, video games, everything like that. What happens is Digimon turn out to be real, and they come and they get, again with Digidestin, I guess. They're called Tamers this time, they're not called Digidestin. And you know, there's this whole new thing where it's the card swipe, and they digimodify, and that's what they call the Digimon, so they can become stronger with like different powers and stuff. It's pretty sweet. They eventually do go in the digital world, and what happens is I think there's this little girl who gets kind of corrupted because she's really depressed that one of her Digimon died, and she gets corrupted by this evil force, and eventually everything happens. Everything good happens at the end. So that's about the time I stopped watching Digimon. Season 3, I think I watched a little bit of Season 4. I remember it having trains and stuff. I don't really remember the whole premise of the season. But, so anyway, if I had to for anime alone, if I had to say which one was better, Pokemon or Digimon, I would have to straight up say Digimon was a superior show. Not only did it have a better storyline, it actually grew up with you. While Pokemon stayed exactly the same, even until now, Digimon got more mature, a little darker, as I grew up. I tell you how. From Season 1 to Season 2, there's a 4-year difference. So, the characters, the kids are in high school now, or in junior high, the newer ones. And Season 3 was really dark and really just a lot more mature and had a lot more mature themes and stuff. And Pokemon didn't. Pokemon was just, I gotta catch them all. So point goes to Digimon for the show. So I'm going to compare Pokemon, for the first movie in Pokemon 2000 up against Digimon, the movie that aired in America. The only reason I'm doing this is because Digimon the movie is a kind of a compilation of 3 movies that aired in Japan, and they are put together and made one storyline. So Digimon the first movie, I'm going to go ahead and have to say it was just so boring. I was bored out of my mind with that. The Pikachu's Vacation is really boring and just mind-numbing if you think about it, because all they did was Pika Pika, meh. Of course, the Pokedex was kind of funny, how he had his commentary on it. It was pretty cool, I thought. That was the cool part. Pokemon the movie, I know the first movie follows the story of Mewtwo, which is kind of interesting at the beginning, but it just goes on for too long, and then they have a battle at the end. Mew comes out, and they fight, and yada yada. Stupid. Yeah. Pokemon 2000, however, was a lot better. I think when I was a kid, it just had a lot more action, a lot more different things. It kind of went with the there's this guy who's trying to capture Zapdos and all the other legendary birds, but of course that throws everything out of whack. So Ash Ketchum has to save the day by doing stuff. He has to collect 3 spheres, which is kind of a lot like a Zelda plot if you think about it. And he, again, eventually saves the day. It's a good movie, I guess. I kind of really enjoyed it. Anyway, Digimon the movie. I just saw this last Sunday, and it is pretty kick butt. It isn't actually really, really good anime. It has 3 different plots, 3 acts if you think about it. The first act follows Tai and his little sister and their first encounter with a Digimon. It's Agumon's form. They see him, and he gets bigger, and he goes through the city. He escapes one night when he digivolves, and he goes to the city. And another Digiegg comes out, and I guess it's Parrotmon or something like that. Kind of a stupid name, but they fight, and it's really, really intense. It's really kind of like it's not really like too cartoony. It actually has a really dark vibe to it, and it's really an interesting story. The second act it's called, I think the movie was called Our War Games. So pretty much what happens is this one Digimon takes over the internet and tries to take over the world by doing it through the internet. He's really upset with this one guy who created him, so he's trying to kill him. So he launches nuclear missiles out, and it's a really, really intense story, and it involves you a lot in it. The third act is not as good as the first 2. It's about the Digidestined on Season 2, and they go and they help this kid, Willie, or Willis, or whatever his name is. Anyway, I think, again, Digimon, the movie, it's superior again. Yeah, Digimon the movie is better than Pokemon the movie. Hey, Pokemon, you kinda lost, but you always have a special place in my heart. I'm just gonna have to say that Digimon is the better show, better movie. It's just the better everything. Pokemon was good, but I think it was just kind of especially the show was just kind of a brand to sell more cards and more games. While Digimon actually tried and had a really involving storyline, and it wasn't really too much about selling cards, although they did have cards and they did have really cool action figures. I really, really enjoyed Digimon more, and it still holds up today with me. I was watching some episodes earlier, and it's still really good. Definitely recommend it. So that's going to do it for this vlog, and I know I kind of went on a lot, but it's a couple of things that I'm really, really interested in. If you want to know more about Digimon and how really, really intense and deep the plot is. I put some links to an entire study based on Digimon and how it has to do with the digital world has to do with how our world is becoming more digital and how we're pretty much relying on digital media and digital things to live, and the thin line between artificial intelligence and creating new life. Check it out. Links in the sidebar. I have a whole bunch of songs and music in the sidebar too from Digimon and Pokemon, so enjoy that, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I was talking for a lot.
You've just watched a video by Doesn't Matter Incorporated Films. I'll tell you what does matter though: rating, commenting, and subscribing.